Hey, welcome to the Gun Cranks. If you look around, you'll notice that Brent is not here because Brent is, yes, he's recovering from surgery. And Brent is, well, what's a good word for it? Transitioning. We'll just leave it at that, okay? And he'll have to explain it when he next joins us for Gun Cranks. Today we're going to talk about... I know, yeah. That's if he still talks to us after that. So today I really wanted to talk about something that seems to be near and dear to all of our many readers. And we've got Erick here from American Cop Magazine, who's a retired police officer and instructor at Gunsight. Tom, you know, of course, his immenseness from American Handgunner. But the other day I had some people here visiting, and my wife tends to drag people home and say, hey, you know, I met this really nice lady. Would you show her how to shoot? And so, which I'm always happy to do. So we adjourned to the back patio here, and I always bring out a 4-inch 22 revolver that I have, a Smith & Wesson. And we go over the firearm safety rules in just a few minutes and put them at ease. And then we shoot a little bit. But it struck me, when we transitioned to a semi-auto Ruger 22, the first thing she said, you know what, that's really interesting, but it's really complicated. I like that other gun better. And she was pointing at the 22 revolver that I had. And it got me to thinking about what happens when you show a revolver to a new shooter. Because so many people nowadays, their lives started with Glocks. And they really don't know anything else, you know, and I think they don't even see the revolvers in the display cases. You know, I have no idea what that is. It's like a standard transmission car to a young, millennial. I have no idea. I'm not even interested. I'm not going to ask about it. And so, but what I found when you show them what they can do, and when you show them how much fun they are, and how easy to use they are, and how inherently safe they can be, it's the rare shooter who I don't see makes that transition. And then that's usually followed up with a phone call from me saying, you know, hi, Roy, hey, it's Beverly. Now, did you say the Smith & Wesson model this, or do you think the Taurus would be okay? And they're buying their first revolver. I just think it's really nice to see that happen. And I wonder why it's not more prevalent. And, you know, why do we not see these younger shooters shooting more revolvers? And is it the fault of the gun store people or what? Tom, what do you think about this?
You know, it's funny you bring this up because I bring 2 guns every time I take a new shooter to the range. One of them is a Smith & Wesson M&P 22 compact. And the reason I bring that is it fits everybody, but it also has a 22 suppressor on it. So generally the first shots go out of there, right? Because no bang, no intimidation, no recoil. It's just fun. But the one they move to immediately after those first shots is a Ruger single action revolver. I mean, it's the perfect learn how to shoot gun for so many reasons. It's safe, you know, it's deliberate. You got to cock the hammer. And is there anything more fun than shooting a Ruger .6?
In the shooting world, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, Brent might be having more fun right now. I don't know, but you know, I don't want to go there. But yeah, I mean, it's just a fun gun to shoot. You know, you got a modern version of an old cowboy gun that shoots 22. You know, for tin can plinking or whatever. Boy, I just love it. So.
It's fascinating. When I came into the law enforcement world and went to the academy in '89. We had one semi-auto in our class. The other 37 of us were carrying revolvers. The longer I stayed in the office, the more that changed, right? To probably about 2000, there were maybe a handful of revolvers left. And when I was last working for the office in 2019, full-time, we maybe had one guy working extra help courts who was carrying a wheel gun as a primary, but we still had a lot of guys carrying J-frames as backups. It's just the newer instructors weren't familiar with them because they hadn't seen them themselves growing up. They hadn't had to use them at any of the firearms instructor schools. So when we would do our yearly update, I found a couple of the old retired firearms instructors who wanted to come out and hang out and had them do a 4-hour block on revolvers. How to run a speed loader, how to run a speed strip, how a dump pouch works. And I don't mean the thing that you drop your magazines and your breaching charges in, but that little leather pouch on the belt with a snap that flips forward. And we brought out a bunch of revolvers, J frames, K frames, L frames, all the different ways to reload the guns, and had the retired instructors showing the guys currently working, hey, this is how you make the revolvers do all these things. And it kind of opened up their eyes because they'd never been exposed to it.
That's amazing if you think about police firearm instructors who don't know anything about revolvers, Well, I know when I was in the field, I used to get called regularly to scenes, and it was because some cop had uncovered some war surplus 30 Bolo Mauser pistol or something. They had something, they had no idea how to make it work, and I was constantly reminded that the average police officer really isn't a gun guy.
No.
And, and I think a lot of the shooters we're seeing introduced to shooting nowadays, they're not really gun people. In other words, they didn't grow up wanting a single shot 22 when they were 12 years old. I think there's just a whole world that we need to just show them and say, look, did you ever see this? I know a couple, 3 years ago or so, we started an email blast called Wheel Gun Wednesdays, right? Is that what it's called? Yeah. It was hugely popular instantly, and had people clamoring for more, give us more, give me more articles, please. We want more revolver stuff. And I think maybe that we need to continue flying that flag. Like you said, Tom, they always love shooting the single actions. And I think, we posted a Ruger Wrangler video not too long ago, and it just fills up with comments. You did that one on the Ruger single six, that video, the stainless one. It's got 500 comments on it now or something, and everybody wants to tell
They're
their
just fun.
I know, everybody wants to tell their own story, and I just think revolvers have their place, and I think shooters like us should take the time and make that step, to introduce these new shooters to them. Eric, you still get wheel guns in other than dedicated wheel gun classes? Like, does anyone show up for a 250 and bring a revolver?
No, usually if they're going to take the 250 with a wheel gun, they come down for the revolver classes or the lever gun classes. But talking about the utility of the revolver, I just got back from a 3-week trip around Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, and Utah. And anytime I stepped off the pavement, I had a little Model 19-3 in a Hill People Gear chest pouch with me, with another speed loader full of ammunition. So because that was more appropriate to some of the critters up there, if I was going to have an unfortunate encounter rather than a 9mm, carried in my waistband. It's just the utility of the revolvers, for different problems, different situations.
Yeah, I think one lady who I was teaching how to shoot said it maybe the best, which she said, what I like about this is that I could load it and put it down, and 6 months from now or a year from now come over and pick it up, and I don't have to really try to remember how to make it work. And it certainly, usually you just need 2 or 3 or 4 shots, and so we all need to remember that as we get caught up in this ammunition race. I think just between us, the idea to me of a 15-round micro pocket pistol in 9mm is almost, it's like people trying to take a 44 Special and turn it into a 44 Magnum. You should just buy a 44 Magnum, And so if you really think you need 15 rounds, I think maybe you should buy a bigger gun, boys and girls. So, all right. Well, look, then I'm going to leave everyone out there with the challenge. If you're a revolver shooter, make sure that your friends who are shooters, especially the new ones, get introduced to them properly. Demystify them, explain it. As Tom says, maybe let them shoot your single action 22 or something like that, and they'll see how much fun it really is. And I agree with what Tom said, is that they're also very safe. And the hammer's cocked or the hammer's not cocked, and you can tell as an instructor what's going on with that gun. So I really like that idea. So hey, thanks guys, I appreciate you helping out today. And then Brent, whatever you're doing, I hope it's going okay. All right, you guys, see you later.